Hey, it's your Opt to Live team with your Opt to Live podcast.
A rad program for personalized optimal living.
Enjoy today's episode.
Well, good morning, everybody. Eric and I are together today.
Morning,
of course,
Doug.
We've had some fabulous conversation this morning.
Oh, my goodness.
We did some work for the Opt to Live stuff this morning, and then we just came to Starbucks and grabbed a coffee. And
Our office?
Our office.
Kind of a little bit.
It is, man. And just being able to talk to you, man, I just tell you how much I appreciate you and all the work that you're doing. But great conversation this morning. And, of course, when you're grateful, as I am, for my family, I'm grateful for you and grateful for Opt to Live in this adventure that we're starting. We started talking about being thankful. And, of course, we're in the holiday season.
The holiday season can be challenging, that's for sure.
It sure can. And a lot of people are happy this time of year. But, man, some people, I mean, sometimes it's a sad situation.
You can get depression to come in at this time of the year, and if we don't know how to manage it or even know that you're in it,
and it can be an
issue.
Yeah, and that's what started the conversation.
Yeah, is your glass half empty, or is it over half full, or is it overflowing? Where are you?
I want it to be overflowing.
Well, I think we mostly all do, but we can get sometimes. I think the human mind, it's a big part of it is fear-based.
Probably.
And if we're not careful, if we stay on those fear thoughts, after a while they kind of spiral, and then they'll start to spiral down. And then that becomes, I think, an opportunity for all the listeners to be aware of, is this where I'm at right now? And if so, how do you find the exit ramp?
Right. And you talked about this morning, it's all about perception of where you're at.
I mean, that's everything in life, right?
I think so.
How do you place yourself, and where do you place yourself in it? You make your glass overflowing.
Sure.
You don't. It's not that the scenario, your environment might change, and that, now I'm a millionaire, I should be happy now. It's that no matter where you're at in life, that you can find happiness in that moment.
Well, and happiness is different than joy. I mean, happiness is happenstance, and joy is so much deeper.
We want joy.
I want joy.
I want love. I want joy.
And I want peace. And that's the big thing, being just peaceful of where you're at and just being peaceful about everything in your life. Today we were doing some observation with the Opt to Live company and just observing some different situations. And there are people that just don't seem peaceful.
I know it.
Or joyful. And
it is a state of mind, and that's what kind of started this. And it's like, you know what?
Good.
It's not just... It's definitely at the individual basis, but all of us in our lifetime at some point have made our glass half empty. And what we have to ask our question is it an acute thing or is it a chronic thing? Is it just, I had a bad day. Yeah. We're all going to have a bad day or a bad moment or a morning or whatever. But if it's every day, we need to be thinking about what are we going to do different to change the way we think. And what's nice about this is science is proving that the brain is plastic.
Right, I've heard you talk about this. Tell me about
that. So what this means is that neuroplasticity is the ability for the brain to change. And it is constantly looking at your environment or the perception of what you think your environment is, and it adapts. And so if it thinks it has to be in a fear-based mode, then it will be.
Right.
And if we are in this day after day after day, then all of a sudden your mind thinks that's your perception. And so if you are in that today, if you feel like you're in this chronic state, what you want to do is you just want to create a happy moment in the mind.
Right.
Look back into your past to that happy time and rest in it for even a couple minutes. It doesn't take long.
Right.
And now you start to build upon the brain in a way, because it's plastic, and all of a sudden it's like, well, actually, I think I am happy.
Yeah.
Well, I can be happy. I think that's the first question, is that you're like, oh wow, I can actually be happy. and we'll want to work with the nervous system. So here is a quick little something to put in your toolbox, which is start counting your breaths. Breathing through the nose is ideal. And inhale for maybe 4, exhale for maybe 8.
And you call that 2-to-1 breathing.
It's 2-to-1 breathing,
right.
And it gives us an opportunity to move the nervous system from a sympathetic fight or flight mode into this parasympathetic calm digestive healing mode of the nervous system.
Sure.
And if you're in that, it is easier to have safer thoughts.
Right.
If you're in the sympathetic fight or flight mode, this is just the way the body is designed. You're kind of in this fear base. It's kind of like in an alert mode. It's like, what's around the next corner? Is there a tiger coming in the room?
Right.
I mean, this is what our brain. I mean, we are not too far from the caveman days. I mean, genetically, we haven't evolved that much, and so we have to be aware of how the body works, how the brain works, and get it into this calm digestive healing mode. Move it into that parasympathetic mode, and then start to have some good thoughts. And that begins the process of conversion of the brain seeing your life and the perception of your life overflowing, or at least over half full.
And I've heard you say this in our teacher training classes that, when you are stressed out, the first thing we concentrate on is the breath. And people need to know that you don't really have to be on a mat or in a yoga position. No. You can do this in your car, at your desk. Take 2 to 3 minutes.
You mean you don't have to be in a handstand or a headstand or some kind of crazy lotus position?
Not many people are like you. But if you sit at your desk or in your car and just take a couple minutes to concentrate on your breath, then you can get in that flow and that situation that Eric's been talking about, which I love that about you. And you're so good at that, and you teach that very well. And I've used it, and it's worked for me as well.
It does work.
It does.
And we start the process of change, and a lot of it's just awareness. It's like, where am I?
Right.
So if you're listening to this, ask yourself the question, where am I? And Doug said this, is start focusing on the breath. Because so many times, if we focus on the breath brings us in the moment.
It's so true.
And if we're sitting here, Doug, and we're looking out at this beautiful sunrise,
nice.
We are in our minds thinking, actually, it's a good day, right? Really? So we're already over half full. When the brain and the mind starts to wander, if it goes back into the past, right, and starts to pull up trauma or different things, then we can maybe start to move into a depressed state. If we start to move too far forward in time, we can be anxious of what's going to happen in our life. But if we're in the moment, like right now, I mean, what is it that we should be upset about or anxious about or tense about?
Right. It's so true. And a lot of people get up. We talked about this earlier today, too. If a lot of people get up and they think, I've got to go to work today. I've got to go do this today.
I love this. Yeah, this is good.
I loved what we came up with. I get to go to work today.
Right.
I get to be a dad today. I get to be a husband today. And there's a song out there by my good friends, the Oak Ridge Boys. I love those guys. They've been so supportive of my career over the years. And they have a song out there called I Get To. And
how's it go, Doug? What's it sound like?
No, I'm not going to sing for these people. Come on. We're trying to be quiet today.
All right.
But it's great. It talks about, I get to do these things. I'm so blessed to be able to walk today, and so blessed to be able to work out today, and so blessed to be able to go to work and provide for my family today. It's something I get to do, not something that I have to do. And that's the whole conversation we had this morning.
I got a buddy that so many times she would say, how do you get there, Eric? You fake it till you make it. And what she's kind of saying is that, I've got to create this scenario in my mind. And if I do it long enough, the way the brain works is all of a sudden that becomes your reality.
Sure.
So if you're telling yourself, to your point, Doug, I get to watch my children this afternoon.
That's awesome.
And now you see it more as a gift of gratitude and all this, then that becomes your reality.
Yeah, that's what you focus on for sure.
We need definitely more of us to be in those kinds of states, and definitely during this holiday season, because you can easily, from a financial standpoint, be like, oh my God, how are we going to pay for all these gifts, or what, and versus, or maybe we're just smarter about how we do gifts.
I think so. That's a whole nother conversation. That is a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, we won't get into that today. But the point is that the financials could stress us out during this time. The fact that we're getting together with family, and sometimes there's a lot of family dynamics when we all get together. Let's be honest, we all have this. Yeah. And so how are we going to manage it? We know 2-to-1 breathing.
Yeah.
Exhale twice as long as the inhale. Be present in this moment, right?
And be thankful for what you have.
Oh my God. Surround yourself with the love, and the gratitude. And you know what? If you're struggling with that, find someone that can help you place yourself into that state. surround yourself with good friends. If you're constantly around people that are just taking your energy, that are, you know what, it's good to serve in that capacity every once in a while, but maybe you need to get away for just a little bit, not, indefinitely, but maybe for an hour here or there, and just kind of surround yourself with some people that are helping to recharge you.
Well, and we need those recharging moments. Actually, this weekend we are going on a retreat, and it's a silent retreat, which I'm looking forward to.
Abbey of Gethsemane.
That'd be great.
Love that.
Hey, happy holidays, everybody. Thank you so much for making this Opt to Live plan and this Opt to Live program so exciting for us. We love talking about this. Actually, Eric and I are trying to be a little more quieter today.
I think we did pretty good.
Because usually we're super
loud. We're a little hot.
But we appreciate you guys, and we are thankful and grateful for you, and we appreciate you. Keep listening.
God bless.
Check us out on optolive.com. Check out our podcast. We'll see you soon. Happy holidays.
Bye-bye.
Hey, this is the Opt to Live team.
With your Opt to Live podcast.
And as always, breathe, eat, move, sleep.